Welcome into another edition of Mavs Latest. I'm Josyah Howard, and we got some news on Derek Lively and his injury status. Derek Lively has undergone surgery to clean up some bone spurs that were in his right foot, according sources told ESPN Shams Charania. He will be expected to be healthy for training camp in September. He did miss more than 2 months last season to a stress fracture in that right ankle, and one of the several injuries that obviously derailed the Dallas Mavericks last season. Look, I'm happy he's getting that stuff handled now, so he'll be ready for training camp, be ready to go, because he's going to be needed in this push for another run at the NBA Finals. And it's going to look different, obviously, and especially without Kyrie Irving. And Nick Weber of the Smoking Cuban, he's predicting the starting lineup for the Dallas Mavericks heading into the year. And he starts off at point guard, D'Angelo Russell. I agree 100% there. He is being brought in to be that temporary starter and then to be that kickstarter six man when Kyrie gets healthy. Klay Thompson at the shooting guard, no brainer. Cooper Flag at the small forward, no brainer. Anthony Davis at power forward, and Derek Lively the second at center. And I agree with that. Maybe some people would say Daniel Gafford, but I would say he's young and it's time to give him those minutes, those reps. It's time to throw him in the starting lineup consistently, especially if he's healthy. If he's ready to go, if he's rehabbed, let him get in there, let him start developing in the way that, to be honest, I think Derek Lively could be a top five starting center, or not top five. I'd say top 10. I'll say top 10 starting center in the league if he can start developing in the way that the Mavericks, one, need him to. But no, I think the Mavericks know he can get to a level that he's a real quality big in the league. And you see someone like Ivica Zubac this year with the Clippers go pretty much 20 and 13 this year. I don't think Derek Lively is necessarily going to drop 20 plus per game, but to say he can't average 10 plus rebounds a game, 12 plus rebounds a game, I think he has that capability if he can have a full healthy season to get right and to have the time to develop the right way, like I said. So Derek Lively getting those bone spurs removed in that right foot. Um, but the next one I want to get to here, Shaquille O'Neal, one of my favorites personally of all time. He hosted a charity event for his foundation. He's a now resident of Dallas, and he had some nice words to say about Cooper Flag. He said he's a great young man. I know both of his parents very, very well. Everything about this city, this organization is going to be the right place, and then we'll give him the time to develop. We'll all remember Dirk Nowitzki wasn't Dirk when he got here first. I think this is a great organization, a great town for him to start off his NBA career. And honestly, throwing out the we with the Dallas Mavericks. He never played with the Dallas Mavericks, but I know his home is now Dallas. Throwing the we tag when it comes to the Dallas Mavericks. So maybe the Dallas Mavericks have a new fan and not only Shaquille O'Neal, but he is now a new fan for Cooper Flag. What great to see legends already singing his praises. And again, it's hard to get legends to be on your side with that stuff. So if you can get that ready to rock, you'll be all set. So again, great words from Shaquille O'Neal. Now, the one I really want to get to here. LeBron James. I was been talking about it, and obviously LeBron has been in the news in terms of possibly being a Dallas Maverick. Now, I haven't necessarily believed all the smoke, but there's obviously smoke there. But Kevin Gray Jr. of DLLS Sports put a little bit of an extinguisher on it and said the Dallas Mavericks are not pursuing a trade for Lakers star and NBA icon LeBron James. And one, I don't even think LeBron's even asking for a trade or anything like that. I don't even think he's available. I think he's just trying to put pressure on the Lakers. I don't even think he's truly available. Um, but it'll be interesting to see how it all shakes up. Um, because again, I think LeBron is going to test free agency. I truly do. And I think that's when the Mavericks truly have a chance to bring him in because he fits the timeline. He fits what they're trying to do right now. And that's win a championship. And Cooper Flag is just the bonus and all that. They're trying to win a championship right now. He does fit their timeline. So you never know what's going to happen with all that. Again, I don't think he's going to get traded. I really don't. I think he's going to test free agency, and it's a real chance he leaves LA when he tests free agency. But again, there is a sports book out there that does have some odds on favorites to land LeBron if he were to leave. And the Dallas Mavericks, according to Bovada's official on Twitter, the odds are Dallas Mavericks plus 125 and going back to the Heat at plus 500, which is odd. I would never think he would go back to the Heat, especially I don't really see how that works right now. But again, I do think if he does eventually want to leave, the Mavericks are the best fit for him. But I just think it's not going to be right now. I think he's going to play out this year. He's going to test free agency. And I think that's when the Mavericks will have a true shot at bringing in arguably the greatest of all time. And you do that if you have a shot to, especially if you've already put a 2 to 3 year championship window on this team. But I want to wrap things up with a little Mavs chatter. And Tim McMahon, he was on his podcast, The Hoop Collective, and he revealed that the Mavericks were not very sad about losing former guard Quentin Grimes. He obviously moved on to Philly and had a pretty solid season, obviously. And he spoke on his podcast and he said the Mavericks wanted to give him something like the Najee Marshall contract, which is about 3 for $27 million. That was a big factor in the Mavericks trading for Cody Martin, who was on that in a deal that was in the 8 million range. That deal blew up in the Mavericks' face. Cody Martin was hurt at the time. It pushed them right up against the thing where they couldn't even sign a guy to another 10-day. Uh, and it looked really sad because Grimes was putting in a ton of points for Philly, but I'm just telling you, there were Mavericks coaches were not happy with another trade that the team made, and they weren't shy to let me know about it. None of the Mavericks coaches were upset with the Grimes trade for Martin. They really didn't value Grimes long term, which is a long winded way of saying if he was getting something around the mid level, I think it would be a good deal for him. Especially because I've seen a lot of chatter just, you know, across videos, podcasts, articles, etc., about Quentin Grimes being lost to the Mavericks. I'm a little bit shocked to hear that there wasn't really any chatter about them losing Grimes at the time and they're okay with it, especially because Cody ended up getting injured. And it was obviously unfortunate. Cody Martin's a pretty solid role player, so it's not the worst swap in the world when you thought about it at the time. But it does look tough when you see Grimes putting in work with the Sixers. But he was in a different role with the Sixers. They were also dealing with injuries, and they put the ball in his hands, and he took the opportunity. And he was good with Philly, but he's not going to get that type of role with the Mavericks. So it's not like the Mavericks are losing out on the production you think you're losing out on if you're a Dallas Mavericks fan. But this has been Mavs Latest. I'm Josyah Howard. Please subscribe down below. Please comment on anything I talked about today. And let's get it, y'all.